Master Farid Muhammad, to whom all holy praises are forever due. I bear witness that there is no God but Allah, and I bear witness that the most honorable Elijah Muhammad is his living and exalted Christ. Now further bear witness that the Honorable Brother Minister Louis Farrakhan is not only their divine reminder in our midst, but the white man's worst nightmare. Come on. The white man's worst nightmare in this day and time. And tomorrow, God willing, here at Muhammad Mosque 28B on Sunday, we're going to go deeper into that for those of you who doubt the veracity of that claim I just made. That's right. In their names, I greet you, family, East St. Louis and St. Louis, with the nation's greetings of peace, of Assalamu alaikum. Not only East St. Louis and St. Louis, I understand that there are others who have traveled to the city. That's right. From near and far, I am honored to Brother Student Minister Ralph Muhammad, to Student Captain Abel, the laborers here at 28B, to my brother Student Minister Donald from 28. I'm honored to be back in the East Book. It's good to see you, fam. Thank you, brothers and sisters, for your presence, for your turnout. You know, I am honored that the Honorable Brother Minister Farrakhan appointed me to the board of the Executive Council of the Nation of Islam. It is a great honor. It is a heavy weight. But it makes traveling to the cities in the field so much sweeter. I'm happy to be a statesman, but I love being a soldier. In the field. And God willing, I will never stop being a statesman and a soldier. Dear family, if you don't mind, I'm going to stay out here most of the night. I don't have on a bow tie or even a straight tie this evening, not by oversight. I'll have on proper attire tomorrow for the time and the place. But this is proper attire for the time, place, and circumstance tonight. Your seating, though you are in Muhammad Mosque 28B, your seating arrangement tonight isn't as it will be tomorrow on Sunday morning. For a definite reason. We're holding class tonight. We wanted a classroom setting tonight for the subject that we are going after this evening. The scientific assault on Black America, specifically the Black man, the Black woman, and the Black child. Right. We have, by Allah's grace, since October 2016, crisscrossed the country with a specific objective: providing the documentation for the revelation. What we are discussing, the scientific assault on Black America. It's revelation that was given to black people, to Black America, by the messenger of God. 1 month before the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad left us, departed, was exalted in the presence of Allah, February 1975, 1 month before that fateful day. The Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad published an article in the Muhammad Speaks. And in that article, among other things, the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad warns the black man and woman of America with these words: at this very hour, eternal war against the black man is planned, as the psalmist of the Bible prophesies that they will plan to destroy the poor secretly. That they plan to destroy the poor secretly. Right. Meaning you won't see it coming. Right. Nor will you see it on a camera phone, right, giving heavy rotation on CNN. They plan to destroy the poor secretly. All kinds of evil, all kinds of evils, plural, are planned against the once loyal slave of America today. In his drugs, in his food, and the water that the slave eats and drinks, to destroy his increase of his nation. A secret war planned against black people. A secret war involving all kinds of evils. All kinds of evils. Those plans will be deployed through the drugs that we partake of. And so, as I have said, there is no such thing as recreational drug use in black America. There is no such thing as recreational drug use in black America. We are documenting that every single drug that we partake of started with marijuana. Every single drug that we so-called recreationally partake of was deliberately imposed on black America as a psychochemical weapon, as a part of neuro warfare. Neuro warfare. Warring with the mind of the black man and woman. The drugs, the food that we eat has been weaponized against us. The water that we drink has been weaponized against us. Now, these are pretty outrageous claims. That's why we're holding class tonight. I didn't come to East St. Louis to preach tonight. We came to document the revelation because the messenger of God told us and warned us. But we want to take a look at the consequences of our response to that warning. And so I have to be upfront with you, family. We will paint a picture tonight, and it will not be pretty. We will paint a picture. We will engender in each and every one of your minds an image. And it will not be a pretty image. Mr. Muhammad, tell us more about this secret war against the former slaves of America. Well, it will be a scientific war in particular. This scientific nation, who have so much knowledge of chemistry today, plan the total destruction of you and me. See, the messenger of God already warned the black man and woman of America that are open enemy will shift gears. All right. The assault, the hatred, the natural hatred that the American white man has always had for the so-called Negro in America, the black male in America in particular, the natural hatred that bursts to the surface through lynchings, that bursts to the surface through rape and abuse of our women, police officers treating the black community as a warehouse of flesh, steaming flesh, their words, that they have access to at any given moment.
Say that, man.
The hatred that the white man of America has for the black male in America in particular, that percolates in police beatings and murder. Yes. Yes. That hatred. Yes. That doesn't percolate to the surface in those video recordable incidents.
Yes, sir.
The hatred that is articulated and operationalized under the surface is way more catastrophic. Way more catastrophic and effective than what Darren Wilson did to our brother.
That's right.
Michael Brown. It's hatred scientifically operationalized. You know what I say? Hatred scientifically operationalized. Now, the words of Aldous Huxley, that very important British aristocrat turned CIA, MK Ultra asset, who said in 1932, his words, agreed with the warning of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Aldous Huxley, a name, the Negro has more reason to know this white man than John F. Kennedy. You know Negroes love John F. Kennedy. Negroes got pictures of JFK and white Jesus on the wall. Negroes love JFK. I'm not at all saying you should love Aldous Huxley, but you should know Aldous Huxley. Because Aldous Huxley is so important to the contours of black life in America right now. See, Aldous Huxley confessed and prophesied. Not prophesied in a religious sense, but anticipated because he had a blueprint in front of him that he was reading from. A blueprint that outlined future elite endeavors. And he noted rightly, it is only by means of the sciences of life that the quality of life can be radically changed. See, through science, our enemies learn how to master manipulating not just behavior, but manipulating the quality of life because they mastered manipulating the design of life itself. As we should know the name Aldous Huxley because his blueprint, or the blueprint that he revealed in a masked sort of way, would give birth in many ways to the life of black America. As we should know him, there's certain terms that we too should know. Dystopia. What is dystopia? Well, you know what utopia is, right? But think the opposite of utopia. Dystopia is a degraded place, state, or condition in which everything is unpleasant, where people lead dehumanized lives. Dehumanized and fearful lives. A dystopia is a place of fear, a place of misery, a place where the people have been dehumanized. How do you produce a dystopia, Aldous Huxley? Another important term that black people need to know and make part of our primary vocabulary. Dysgenics. Dysgenics. See, we learned the word eugenics, and we make the mistake to think that that's what white folks do to us. Eugenics is what white folks do to themselves. Dysgenics is what white folks do to us. That's very, very critical. What is dysgenics? Well, what is eugenics? Eugenics, the selective breeding for the purpose of enhancing good qualities, perpetuating good qualities, selectively breeding out bad qualities for the purpose of producing a superior organism. You understand? Be that organism a pedigree dog or a thoroughbred horse or a superior human being. Eugenics is a process of breeding, selective breeding, or otherwise manipulation of the genome for the purpose of emphasizing good qualities of the organism, breeding out bad qualities of the organism. You understand?
Yes,
What then is dysgenics? Dysgenics is the deliberate, selective breeding or genetic manipulation for the purpose of emphasizing poor qualities or bad qualities in the organism, breeding out good qualities in an organism for the purpose of producing a degraded, inferior organism. Eugenics is what white folks do to white folks. Eugenics is the process the elite use to perpetuate superior human qualities, eliminate through sterilization or otherwise the perpetuation of what they perceive to be poor qualities in their genome or in a neighboring genome that could contaminate their genome. So that's why through Planned Parenthood they want to sterilize black women. Not that they have a eugenics process for us, is that we are caught in the crosshairs of their eugenics project for them.
Come on.
So they enact policy and create a lifestyle among themselves that perpetuates good qualities among them and minimizes scientifically poor qualities among their breed for the purpose of producing a superior white human being. But it is dysgenics that they practice on a black man and woman in the mirror, creating the conditions, causing the selective breeding out of good, superior qualities and perpetuation and emphasis of poor human qualities for the purpose of producing a degraded, inferior human being. This process, this project of dysgenics, this scientific project of dysgenics was and is the preferred means of producing the black dystopia. Now this looks like many inner cities of America today. Because black life, black America has been made dystopian. Black America has been made a black dystopia. And we are, to one degree or another, the product of a deliberate project of dysgenics. Now, that's all of us, to one degree or another. Now, the problem is, don't get offended. Well, get offended, but not admit it. The problem is we don't recognize the degraded, dehumanized state of our existence because we don't have a vision of true black life in our minds. So we think this is normal. But this is dystopia. And we will, Allah willing, give us a glimpse as we walk through the process by which black dystopia has been and currently right now as we sit, drink, eat, breathe is being created and perpetuated, we will have a glimpse of black utopia. Because be real clear, black dystopia is not a literary fiction. Black dystopia is a reality. But likewise, black utopia is not a religious fantasy. Black utopia is a reality. And you don't have to go to the movies to watch Wakanda to experience black utopia. Inshallah, we will see a glimpse of that before we leave today. So as we proceed, have the words, the image of dystopia in your mind. Have the word and the image of dysgenics on your mind. This was an ad. This particular ad. Where's the light at, brother? There it is. This was a national billboard campaign put out by 2011. A Texas-based pro-life organization, Life Always. This particular one was put up here in Missouri. The most dangerous place for an African American is in the womb.
Yeah. Man.
It's the billboard. A national campaign in cities all across the country. The most dangerous place for an African American is in the womb. The point of this ad campaign is to call attention to the consequences of high abortion rates among our people. But this Texas-based pro-life organization, don't give a damn about black folks.
Right.
The ad campaign actually pathologizes the black womb. It sends the message that by demonizing the womb of the black woman, that's the subtle suggestion, or not so subtle. Demonizing by pathologizing the womb of the black woman, saying, black man, your danger doesn't start with you coming into being birthed into racist white society. The threat to you starts in the womb of your mother. That's it. As a national ad campaign, it's even deeper. But we can go even deeper because while on one level, this is a racist attack on the laboratory of God himself.
Right.
The womb of the black woman is the workshop of God himself.
Yes, sir.
Also something else. The black womb, sister, your womb in particular. See, the reason the black womb is demonized here Because your womb, black woman, is the birth chamber of the white man's replacement. You hear me? The white man's replacement.
All right.
Your womb is the birth chamber of the white man's replacement. So your womb has been targeted. And this is the sense in which this claim becomes true. How is it true that the most dangerous place for an African American is in the womb? Because the womb of the black woman was targeted in a most insidious way. The assault on the black male did not begin with the elementary school that we sent our sons to, and the white teachers sent them in outrageous numbers to special education, and then controlled them psychochemically by giving them Ritalin. The assault on your son, sister, did not begin with the police harassing a teenager on the street and throwing him in jail in a mass incarceration project. The assault on your son began in your womb. And that's why I have said, while the object of most of this government's secret planning against black people, the object of most of it is the black male. The primary target is the black woman, but specifically the pregnant black woman. So I want to talk about that this evening. Is that okay?
Yes, sir.
I want to shed light on the assault on the black woman and the black child. Because the assault on the black man is through the assault on the black woman.
That's right. Come on, that's right.
That's right.
Why is your womb, black woman, the object of such hate here? Well, the reason I just gave is not my speculation. We can document the reason for the hatred of these people for your very womb, black woman.
Oh, man. Oh.
A most important study, the early in utero estrogen and testosterone environment of blacks and whites, potential effects on male offspring. This is so freaking important.
Okay.
Come on, brother.
We're documenting. We're providing the documentation
Yes, sir.
for the revelation.
Yes, sir.
And the long and short of this is,
God damn it, Elijah Muhammad was right.
Yes, sir.
Woe is us. Woe is us for denying the Mosana boy Elijah. Woe is us for denying and turning our backs on the Honorable Brother Minister Farrakhan. We will show the consequence in the contours of black life. Yes, sir. For our refusal to heed the word of the messenger of God, the Mosana boy Elijah Muhammad. The consequences have been so severe to black people. Let me say this. A real live illustration and case that could be multiplied 1,000 times, but this case illustrates in my mind perfectly and clearly for all to see the vicious consequences of the black man and woman's rejection of the man that God raised up to save black life. God himself raised up Elijah to repair, remake, and save black life. We rejected him. And what are the consequences? So, come on, man. I was at a particular city. And in the course of my comments, I mentioned the evils of soil. The evils of soil. If the navy bean is the bean god, and it is, then the soybean is the devil himself. But we got probably some vegans in here that don't like that because you like tofu. Your vegan diet is chock full of soy products. And some of you, come on, maybe not you, but there are those who had a close relationship with the Nation of Islam. Know that the Mosana boy Elijah Muhammad said, leave soy alone. Said, leave it alone. But you go and set up restaurants, vegan or vegetarian restaurants, and almost all of your product has soy in it. Knowing that the Mosana boy Elijah Muhammad said, leave soy alone. Black folks, we so progressive now. We so progressive. You don't want milk no more because the white man said you're lactose intolerant. He lied. He lied. We can document the fabricated study that introduced to America the myth that while white folks are lactose tolerant, black folks are lactose intolerant. Yeah, there's one or two. For most of us, the gastrointestinal effects of dairy is in our own mind. But because the Mosana, the messenger of God, said, drink milk every day. The white man said, milk is bad for you niggas, but white folks keep drinking milk. See, they know something about milk that they got from the messenger of God. But us progressively health conscious black folks are you awoke folk. You awoke folk. You reject dairy and you gobble down soy. Some of us in the Nation of Islam, that's right, have become lax, have been following the ways of the world. So I was at the city and I mentioned
Talk to us.
that sword
Come on, man.
is a phytoestrogen. See?
Come on.
Early in utero estrogen and testosterone embodiment. Estrogen is a feminizing hormone. And testosterone is the masculinizing hormone. Estrogen is the class of the primary feminizing hormones. It feminizes the mind and body of women. And it feminizes the mind and body of men when men have an excess of estrogen in their system. And soy, when it's consumed, becomes estrogenic in the body. It becomes an estrogen, and that's why
Come on, man.
soy eaters, long-term soy eaters from an early age, if you would ask them and they would comply with your request, the men to take their shirt off, you will see that many of them suffer from gynecomastia, man breasts. That soy feminizes the body. So when you put your baby, when you feed your young child tofu, there's consequences to that. So I spoke on that in this particular city.
Come on, brother. Come on, brother.
And at the end, a sister came to me. She said that I saw a haunting mystery for her that she suffered for years. She was a Muslim. She showed me a picture of her daughter and her daughter's girlfriend. Her daughter was the butch of the relationship, was the man of the relationship. And she, until that day, was haunted. Why? What did I do? I did all I could. How did this happen?
Come on, man. Talk to us. Right there.
And then she had an epiphany on that day. Wow. Because she came and shared with me that when her daughter was a baby, she had gag reflex, so she couldn't take the breast. She couldn't feed from the breast of life. So the formula that she chose to put her baby on was the soy formula. That this devil knowingly is pushing. First, they're telling you, sister, to take your baby off your breast. Get your body tight. Right? Get your body tight. Take your baby off your breast and then replace it with what? Replace it with soy formula. Soy, estrogen, excess estrogen feminizes the neurology and the anatomy of males, but excess estrogen masculinizes the neurology and the anatomy of women.
Talk to us, man.
And so that soy that baby was ingesting from birth, it turned into excess estrogen in that body, and it masculinized the neurology of that young girl. See, a direct example and consequence, illustration of the consequence of saying, to hell with you, messenger of God. To hell with you, messenger of God. See, there are real life consequences to this thing right here. There's a penalty that we all pay for turning our back on the message of God. And if we would go through each and every one of our lives, I promise you, we will stumble across a consequence in your and my life.
Talk to us, man.
The early in utero estrogen and testosterone environment of blacks, these devils, they did a study and they discovered something that was disconcerting to them. Ross and his colleagues studied the rates of testicular cancer and prostate cancer among black and white men in LA.
All right. Let's go.
And what they discovered made them mad. They discovered that perhaps the most striking finding in examining the two diseases simultaneously is the virtual absence of testicular cancer among blacks in Los Angeles. White men killing over or suffering high rates of testicular cancer. Black men, testicular cancer was virtually absent. And they wanted to know why.
Right. Talk to us.
Come on.
Yeah.
Listen good.
Right.
Because they made a discovery of why black men in their language was protected from testicular cancer. Listen. Another important descriptive feature of the disease, the rarity of testis cancer in black males. During the past several decades, while the incidence of testis cancer has been increasing in white males, the rates in black males have remained stable and are considerably lower. In searching for an explanation for this protection afforded black males, we studied the hormone levels in maternal blood of black and white women during early pregnancy. Black women had testosterone levels that were 48% higher than those of white women during the early weeks of gestation. Black women had total estradiol, the most potent estrogen. Black women had a total estradiol levels that were 37% higher than white women. Free levels that were 30% higher. But none of these results, they say, were statistically significant. Testosterone is necessary for the virilization of the male urogenital tract. Testosterone isn't about libido. That's later and secondary. The first thing testosterone does in the womb, it makes the male body male and the male mind male. Testosterone in the womb is a chemical scalpel that produces the male anatomy, specifically producing a male reproductive system and a male genitalia. That's testosterone that does that. Testosterone is necessary for the virilization of the male urogenital tract. High maternal testosterone levels, such as those observed in black women in this study, may ensure the orderly process by crossing the placenta into the fetal circulation. The excess of testosterone was only excess in comparison to white. What's in the white womb? The desert, the testosterone desert that's in the white womb during pregnancy. high maternal testosterone levels, such as those observed in black women, ensure the orderly process by crossing the placenta into the fetal circulation. This excess testosterone in the early gestational blood of black women provides a possible explanation for the subsequent lower incidence of testis cancer in black male offspring, as it may counteract the effects of elevated estrogen. Look, let me unpack that.
Oh,
So
man.
you are very clear about what you heard, and thus can be a little more clearer about what we experience and what you experience in particular, dear sister. When you go to the clinics or the hospital, the hawkishness among these people who want you, your baby didn't even drop, but they want to know what birth control you're going to take. And they are not satisfied to just offer you the pill, which Muhammad said don't take, but they want you on the shot. They want you on the shot for a very specific reason, but understand what you just heard. The reason stated here that white men get testicular cancer at such high and increasing rates, and black men don't, is because during pregnancy, the womb of the black woman has the requisite amount of testosterone that balances the estrogen, because estrogen is the feminizer, and the black woman is the paradigmatic feminine woman on the planet. The black woman is the example of femininity.
Yes.
And that's why they put a lot of effort in masculinizing our women. Because the white woman is jealous of you.
Yes.
You show the world what femininity is, and white women don't like that.
Come on, man. Come on.
So they aren't just feminizing a black man, they are masculinizing a black woman. So the womb of the black woman is protective of that male. It has the right amount of testosterone and estrogen that properly develops not just the masculinity of that male child in a way that isn't afforded in the white woman's womb. That's why I said, y'all weed smokers mad
Good black man and woman.
when I say,
Good.
when I document that weed plummets your testosterone and feminizes you, black man. You always want to know. Well, what about the white man? Massive weed sick? Sound like massive weed sick. What about my white smoke button? If it feminizes the black man, drops his testosterone, does it do the same thing to the white man? Well, no. That's it. He starts off feminine. He starts to raise feminine. And by starts to raise, I mean in the womb of his white mother. Because her womb is deficient of the necessary hormonal milieu to bequeath to her son full maleness and masculinity. She can't even protect him from the workshop of God protects the black man, because it's the black God that's produced in her womb, the black God born to replace the white God. And this is why your woman, black woman, is targeted. Your womb is targeted.
All right.
Your womb is under assault. The pregnant black woman
target of so much of the assault, the scientific assault on black America. The aim is him, but the primary target is you.
Talk to us.
Time magazine. Children exposed to more brain-harming chemicals than ever before. A silent pandemic of toxic chemicals is damaging our children's brains, experts say. See, remember, Yaqub and his doctors, ministers, and nurses, and crewmates, they stuck a pin. How did they kill the black child? They stuck a pin in his brain. They are sticking chemical pins in the brain of black children. And there's a silent pandemic, but they are sticking these chemical pins in the brain of the black child before they even leave the womb. Come on. See?
Right? Talk to us, my brother.
Poison in our blood? Yes. Beauty hurts, it says. The toxins in feminine hygiene products.
Come on, man.
How perfume toiletries, particularly douches, lead to dangerously high levels of chemicals
Talk to us, man.
in the body. A new study by George Washington University in the U.S. shows our deepest fears about beauty products are not without reason. It so happens women of color, Latina, Asian American, and black are right to be concerned. We ingest more toxins than Caucasian women. They are in the form of formaldehyde, parabens, lead, and mercury. Products that can lead to infertility, hormone disruption, and the now ubiquitous cancer. Toxicology, the study of toxins. Toxicology reports have revealed skin lighteners, hair straightening products, and oddly, products that mask body odors that target women of color have more toxins in their ingredient list. Douching alone increases exposure to a chemical called DEP. We're going to run this one time. Douching alone increases exposure to a chemical DEP, phthalic acid, acid of phthalates, PHTHALATES, phthalates. A critically important word. We're going to have a lot to say, inshallah, in a relatively short time, inshallah, about phthalates. Douching alone increases exposure to a chemical called DEP, phthalic acid, by 150%. Products, feminine products, beauty products, and hygiene products that specifically are marketed to black women have toxic toxins in them that are not in products marketed to white women.
Listen.
Among those toxins specific to products marketed to black women are chemicals such as phthalates. But let's go on.
Come on, brother, let's go. Help us all.
Phthalates seem to have the greatest effect in the womb. So they are most concerning for women of reproductive age. These phthalates that litter the beauty and hygiene products marketed specifically to black women. They are littered deliberately, we will show, deliberately littered with toxins like phthalates that are most effective in the womb. The womb, the black womb that was deliberately and explicitly demonized because they know that the black womb is the laboratory of God himself, wherein his replacement, the white man's replacement, is being made. So phthalates are most effective in the womb. Okay.
Talk to us.
Nationally representative data of U.S. reproductive age women suggests that women of color have higher levels of certain endocrine disrupting chemicals, chemicals that throw off the hormonal balance.
Right.
Black women or women of color have higher levels of certain endocrine disrupting chemicals such as phthalates and parabens in their bodies. Black women have a heavier body burden of this specific toxic chemical, phthalates. Compared with white women, African American and African Caribbean women are more likely to use a greater number and variety of hair products and to have their hair chemically or professionally treated. The hair products used by African American women, as opposed to hair products used by white women, hair products used by African American women are more likely to contain placenta, a potential source of estrogen hormones, and industrial chemicals such as parabens and that affect estrogen pathways. Premature reproductive development such as breast budding was documented in African American girls exposed to estrogen or placenta containing hair products. That's why our girls are developing women-like bodies at way too early an age.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Use of ethnic hair products among African American women has been associated with increased risk of early menarche, the onset of bleeding in a girl. Our girls are bleeding years earlier than white women, the white girls. And the consequence is a heavy estrogen load. Those extra years of cycling in black girls increases the estrogen load in black females. And the consequence is black women have breast cancer not only that it's equal with white women, but black women die of breast cancer earlier and die of breast cancer at tremendously greater rates than white women.
Talk to us, man.
It has also been proposed as a plausible risk factor. The chemicals in the beauty and hygiene products specifically marketed to black women and not marketed to white women, and which is absent in the products that are marketed to white women. Plausible risk factor for excess premenopausal breast cancer that has been observed among African American women. Now look.
Come on, man. Talk to us.
Dear sister. Hair relaxers. The hair relaxers and hair care products that we use, they have estrogenic chemicals from placenta in them. White products don't heavily use placenta products,
Right.
because it's an estrogen source, but the products marketed to our
Right.
mothers, wives, and daughters, they use placenta, and they have a heavy estrogen load. And what is one of the consequences? Urine fibroid tumors. Black women get fibroid tumors 3 times the rate white women get it. And as a consequence, black women get hysterectomies 2.4 times greater than white women get hysterectomies. Fibroids, those benign tumors in the uterus of women, but it can cause infertility.
Wake this up, man.
And because of the discomfort, if it doesn't cause infertility, it compels women, especially black women, to get a hysterectomy.
Talk to us.
The vaginal douche, black women douche at a tremendously greater rate than white women. Now, it's a fragrance in the water. The fragrance is the source of these toxic chemicals
Wake this up.
that through douche sending directly up the vaginal canal.
Man. Talk to us. The teaching.
Vaginal douche is another feminine care product. Balance. It causes endocrine or hormonal disruption in the mother, but also in this cross-sectional study of U.S. reproductive age women, we found that vaginal douching may be an important source of DEP phthalate exposure among U.S. reproductive age women. In adjusted models, women who reported douching in the past month had 52% higher urinary MEP, those phthalates, concentration. Compared to white women and Mexican women, we found that black women had higher phthalate metabolite levels. We're talking about the toxic assault on black women's health.
Yeah, lay that case, man.
Toxic assault on black women's health.
Yes, sir.
The consequences of this deliberate toxic assault on black women's bodies, health, and neurology. The consequences are bequeathed to our children, to the life that is produced in your womb.
Right. Oh.
Racial and ethnic variations. This study is important. I'm running through it, but it documents the extremely high level of violence in the body of black women versus the body of white women. It's deliberate.
Right. Right.
What are the consequences? To our babies. See, phthalates are chemicals that belong to a particular class of chemicals called gender benders. Gender bending chemicals found to feminize boys. Now, of this list of gender bending chemicals, what tops the list? That list of gender bending chemicals, chemicals that disrupt the hormonal balance such that it can feminize boys by altering the estrogen to testosterone balance, can masculinize girls by altering the testosterone to estrogen balance. Come on.
Oh, man.
And look, phthalates have been blamed for blocking the action of testosterone in the womb. And we just read what they discovered. It's the testosterone in your womb that bequeaths to your son that divine protection that got them mad because their mom don't have that level of testosterone that affords their son protection and masculinity.
Okay.
So they targeted. I've been documenting they target the black man's testosterone, but they start in the womb of the black woman. They target the hormonal environment, the divine hormonal environment of the womb of the pregnant black woman. And these are the chemicals that are assaulting the black, your black son in your womb. Kill the male, spare the female, but we're going to talk about what spare the female really means.
Hey, come on, bro.
The very chemical that they deliberately made by poisoning the beauty and health or hygiene products marketed specifically to black women. They poison them with this specific chemical that not only is poisoning your body, and black women suffer the cancers at rates to no other women, ovarian, breast cancer. Black women suffer ailments and disease. I can read them, but for time's purposes, I'm not going to go through the list. But black women, by all metrics, suffer health-wise at a rate that no one else in this country does. It's because you've been targeted. It's because the products that you are, that millions of dollars in marketing dollars are spent to get you to pick up from the store. They poison your body. They damage your health. And then what they do to your child.
Talk to it.
Which is the aim. Phthalates. What does phthalates do? Feminize the behavior of your male child. Less boy, more girl in behavior. Phthalates The effect of phthalate in the blood of the mother on the developing bull fetus. Phthalate exposure in pregnancy adversely affects masculinization of male genitals in babies. You want to know why we are here?
Come on, talk to him.
The transgender tipping point. The black transgender. 10 million total LGBT. 10 million in America. That's 4% of the U.S. population. Now that 10%, 1 million are black. 1 million self-identified black, lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, asexual, intersex, queer, and they're going to go through the whole alphabet in a minute. Look, 1 million black LGBTQ. And the greatest thrust producing that number is among the millennials. People born between 1980 and 1998, 7.3% of millennials are LGBTQ. Because something happened to the generation born between 1980 and 1998. Something happened. We've been documenting what happened. We got the dates. We got the people, the institution. We know exactly what happened. It made millennials the engine that has grown the numbers of black LGBTQ in America. And part of it is that weed you smoking, bro. Of the 10 million black LGBTQ, 1.4 million are transgender, 200,000 black people, transgender. Those toxic chemicals that meet so many of us in the womb, they throw off the hormonal balance. Phthalates deplete the testosterone necessary to masculinize the neurology of the male child, and it depletes the testosterone necessary to masculinize the physiology of the male child. Because we have to understand something. But I can't find the word I'm looking for. Embryology. You got to understand some little embryology. The male, the fetus in your womb. All right, we have a myth buster moment. Stop saying that the fetus is originally female. Stop saying that crap. It's a lie. Today it's a lie. Before it was scientific canon, back in the 70s, before science busted it up as an incorrect scientific hypothesis, now when it's perpetuated, it's done so strictly as a lie for social political purposes. It is not the case. We even hear Muslims, followers of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, author of our supreme wisdom. Message to the black man? Y'all ever read that book? Yes, sir. So to hear Muslims repeat that claim, that the fetus in the womb starts out as a female, says that you too have turned your back on Elijah. Scientifically, that's not the case. The fetus is gender neutral. Whether it's an XX fetus or an XY fetus, both have the exact same equipment, physiological equipment. Both have the Mullerian ducts and the Wolffian ducts that will turn either into the female reproductive system or the male reproductive system. Every fetus has both of them. The gonads are neither male nor female. They're gender neuter. The fetus originally is gender neuter. It is not feminine. It is not female. What changes? That's where the Y chromosome comes into play. See, that Y chromosome will send out a gene. SRY gene. And what that gene does is convert that gender neutral gonad into the male gonad, the testes, or testicle. And why that is necessary, because then in the now male testicles, testosterone is produced. And that testosterone is the difference between the male and the female. The testosterone is the reason for the neurological and anatomical difference between male and female, masculinity and femininity. Why? There are two bursts of testosterone during gestation. Very quick. Two separate and distinct bursts of testosterone. The first burst of testosterone masculinizes the body of the fetus. It's the chemical sculpture that transforms the gender neuter anatomy now into a male anatomy. It also, from the testicles, another hormone is produced. Anti-Mullerian hormone. The Mullerian ducts are the female ducts that would otherwise turn into the female reproductive system. The Wolffian ducts are the masculine ducts that will otherwise, under the guidance of testosterone, turn into the male reproductive system. In the absence of testosterone, in a female fetus, it doesn't have those two testosterone explosions, the absence of testosterone. The Wolffian duct disappears in the female. It doesn't have the testosterone to develop. That first burst of testosterone masculinizes the body, produces the male genitalia. So that one comes out, he's born, you can know on sight that he's a male because he's equipped with male genitalia. But that's just the first burst. The first burst masculinizes the body. In the absence of testosterone, the body feminizes. So it is the case that the female form is the default form, but it's not the primary form. It's the default form because it takes testosterone, the power hormone, to make a man. Man's very origin is power. That's why a man has to have power. He has to have the power hormone to become a man.
All right. Come on now. Teach it, man. Help us out.
And the second burst of testosterone later, it masculinizes the neurology. The wiring of women and men are not the same. The neural circuitry of men and women are different. The difference is the consequence of testosterone masculinizing the brain of the feast. But that's a separate verse. Scientists know how to create what they call gender dysphoria, where physical gender is in opposition to neurological gender. So if you interfere with the first verse that is supposed to masculinize the body, if you cut that off, if you diminish it, then the body won't be masculinized. It will default to a pseudo feminine genitalia. But if you allow the second verse to run its course, the brain will be masculinized, and what will be born is a child that looks like a woman from via anatomy, but the mind is masculinized. So he thinks like a man, but looks like a woman. Or you can let the first burst of testosterone run its course, don't manipulate it. It will masculinize the body, but you target the second burst. It's supposed to masculinize the neurology. So a man will be born, or a child will be born with a masculine physiology, but a feminine neurology. So he will grow up really believing he's a woman trapped in a man's body. That's dysphoria, scientifically created. If you didn't know, the goddamn white man is the devil.
Talk to us. Help us all. Oh, man.
Very scientific assault. See, this and these numbers, that's part of black dystopia.
Okay.
But let's be real clear. We could take this picture down and put the image of a black crackhead. We can take that picture down and put the results of a black weed head. We can take this picture down and put almost any of us who don't follow Elijah. Come on now. Almost any of us. They say, oh, that one, she or he is chemically assaulted, scientifically assaulted by that McDonald's. And they eat and feed their children. It produces obesity and health. And so we are an obese people. We are a sickly people. Because the food we eat, in direct contradiction to the food the message of God said eat. And don't eat. We are, black America has been made a black dystopia. That's our reality.
Okay.
That's our reality. But there's a new reality, though. That ain't the only reality.
Come on, bruh.
Yes, sir.
That ain't the only reality. You know damn well you ain't looking at dystopia then.
All right.
Come on.
Talk to us. GT,
This is a consequence. This is a consequence of scientific modification. This too is a consequence and product of scientific modification. Scientific modification. Brother Dr. Wesley, what's science? Does Elijah Don't do what you should not do. Eat what you're supposed to eat. Don't eat what you ain't supposed to eat. Don't take into your body that which will destroy your body. Don't take into your body that which will corrupt your mind. See, y'all don't like y'all who aren't yet with Elijah.
Call them up.
Help us all.
Come on. You use every manner of excuse to stay away from Elijah. And all of them are bogus. All of those excuses are bogus. You know Farrakhan ain't killed Malcolm. Shut up. When he said Elijah Muhammad got his secretary pregnant. You know that man had wives, and you know. Come on, black man. You know by every metric. Cultural, go to the Islamic measure, the African cultural measure, you know that man ain't do nothing wrong. You may not like it, but you know what he didn't do was impregnate some little secretary. You know by now, those are his wives. You're using that as an excuse. Why? Why? Because you know this life, excuse me, but this shit is hard. It is. But life is hard. Death is easy and sweet. Satan made death very tasty and this Genius. In order for the project of this Genius to be successful, in order to create this black dystopia, they got to make black folk enjoy the death. Come on now. The culture of death. So that weed that it has THC, it's potent, bro. Ooh, it's sweet, ain't it? You love that, don't you? You love that. You don't want to put it down. You don't want to give it up. Because it's so sweet. It smells so good. You love that. I keep the women on, brother. This genius, I can show you what it does to the sperm. Your sperm. So when we come to you in your womb, sister, already dysgenically defective. Come on now. We come to you dysgenically defective. What they've done to our sperm. And through their way of life that we live and embrace, we produce inferior human beings. But Muhammad produced superior human beings. You so woke, you want to eat tofu. Well, go ahead with your big old breasts, bro. Go ahead, bro. You don't care what the messenger of God said. You want to do you.
Come on.
I'm good with the Muslims and how they talk, but I ain't trying to live their life. You continue living a dysgenic life of death and degeneracy. Come on, brother. Come on, man.
Help them.
The lifestyle God brought and gave to the Messiah boy Elijah Muhammad. When we follow it scientifically reconstitutes the black man's physiology and life. I spent all this time talking to you, sisters, and about the black woman. That's why Honorable Elijah Muhammad said 75% of his work is with the black woman. The target is you. They want you, they want your womb, and that's why sisters come to MGT class. Muhammad teaches the sisters how to cook, how to prepare the food. You will see them, they don't. At least they're ready to live. They don't bring canned food to their husband and children. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught them how to can with bottles. And now we know that the cans in all of this canned food is filled with resins that have BDP, phthalates, and other gender-bending chemicals in it. But before we knew that, the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad already taught the sisters how to stay away from loneliness and can their food in glass. Come on. Man, Muhammad is the black God. How a man give you the healing of a sickness that didn't even set in yet for generations? Because he was taught by God and made a God. So it's the lifestyle. It's the do's and don'ts. The thou shalt nots that y'all don't like, that's what reconstitutes the physiology of the black man and woman. See, y'all want to still do that crap. And that's why we still dysgenically degenerate. But you ain't got to be that. We ain't got to be that. But the consequences to rejecting the messenger of God are real, are documentable, and are catastrophic. So what's the answer? Come out tomorrow, family. Here. Coming out. We spent all tonight talking about the black dystopia. We're going to talk about the black utopia tomorrow. What time, Brother Minister? 10 o'clock here, Central Time. Assalamu alaikum. We have about 20 minutes. I will be happy to take any questions that we can field in the next 20 minutes. If there are any. Listen up.
Any questions?
Anybody got any questions? We have about 20 minutes.
Don't be scared.
Yes, sir. My question is,
Stand up, brother.
my question to you, Dr. Wesley, is what products do you know in particular that we should not use that criminalize the man and masculinize the women? Start with what? All of our tap water. What products can we recommend that aren't toxified with these gender-bending chemicals? And so we can start with water. Stay away from Aquafina and Dasani. Stay away from Aquafina and Dasani. Stay away from tap water, all of our tap water, even at restaurants. And Aquafina and Dasani, because restaurants, the water they pour you at your table, it's just tap. Because the table is nicer than your table, don't mean that they tap water any cleaner than your tap water. And Aquafina and Dasani are tap water. Nestle and Coke had to confess that it's tap water with BPA bottles. The company that makes those fruit cups that we send our children to school with in Del Monte. Stay away. Flee from Del Monte. like it's the enemy, because it is. Because Del Monte specifically organized a campaign to target pregnant black women with their BPA products. BPA is a cousin of Dallas, does the same thing. And Del Monte not only uses BPA in all of their products, when the government or state legislatures try to ban the use of BPA products in children's products, they just try to, well, just keep it away from children. If you grown-ups want to surrender to a fine, but keep it away from children. Del Monte fought that. And the plan they used to fight it was to target pregnant black women to stay with a campaign designed to get you to stay away from BPA products. They want you black women eating and feeding your children BPA products, because BPA, bisphenol A, does the exact same thing that phthalates do. So Del Monte is in it. Don't bring that fruit cup to your children. Don't send them to school with Del Monte fruit cups or any Del Monte product in their lunch. So just water. I drink, you'll see, I drink Fiji water. The messenger, I've never seen a messenger of God, the Honorable Brother Minister Farrakhan, except with Fiji. And there's a reason for that. The bottle itself, BPA free. Because if your water, it's not just about the water in the bottle, it's the bottle that the water is in.
Sister Wright, Sister Jackson.
Yes, Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam.
This is all conference, but what brought you to the nation Islam?
Research and truth and declaring I was atheist. And my atheism was shook, and I just decided one day I'm going to study everything. I don't believe nothing. I don't disbelieve nothing. I'm going to study everything, and wherever that study leads me, that's where I'll be, and that's where I am. Studying everything, meaning studying the veracity of everything, putting everything under the microscope, critical inquiry, every single thing. And the only thing that stood up until this day stands up is the science of everything in life that we call Islam.
All right, now.
Come
on, man. Yeah.
I'm studying. I'm really trying to feel this thing that I heard in Islam, lowering my gauge. I wonder what can I do to continue that and stay steadfast, lowering my gauge.
Now you're saying gauge. I think a 12 gauge. You mean gauge? Well, lower that joint. You know, so as we Muslim men in particular, are admonished to lower our gaze when it comes to women. We don't eyeball women. Right. We don't follow a woman's body as she walks by. We lower our gaze. When you're talking to any sister, you don't talk to them eyeball to eyeball. You lower our gaze because number one, that's respect. And one, if you could be talking to some man's wife. You don't eyeball no man's wife. You don't face to face. No other man. So you lower your gaze. And because the black woman is just so potent. Physiologically, she's just so beautiful.
Yes,
And so, and you know, if you're a natural man, that's going to have a chain reaction. If you're a natural man, there's going to be an effect of that, which that probably won't be the appropriate time or place for such a reaction. So you lower your gaze when seeing or addressing women. Is that what you were?
Yes.
Yeah. So no. So how do you stay steadfast? Just do it. Just do it. There's some things that are harder than others, more complicated than others. I know that today's marijuana is like crack. So I used to say, again, just drop it. Just go cold turkey. And then cases were brought to me of the crack-like consequences of cold turkey stopping smoking that marijuana. So it's a process. So I recommend it's a process. Get yourself in that process, bro. But certain things, well, you just stop doing. Don't take a week to stop eating pork. Don't take a week. Don't take a week to stop eating pork. Especially when there's all these pork substitutes. And you just gotta, if it's psychological for you, well, get turkey bacon. Right? Duck bacon, whatever. But it doesn't take. I ain't But certain things we can just cut out. And the disrespect in our behavior, disrespect of women, well, that's not a grace period for that. So it should be, we as men, it shouldn't take a lot for us to lower our gaze when dealing with these sisters. That's right. Little girl walks by, someone's daughter walks by. Lower your gaze, bro. Right. See, the reason that is critical, and I'm not giving no inch on that, because we have a silent epidemic, and the silence of the epidemic is probably most criminal. Black girls who are molested. One study said 80% of black girls by the age of 18, or 60 to 80%, I don't remember the numbers, by the time they reach 18, have been touched. And they've been touched by not a white man. They've been touched by a brother, a cousin, a father, an uncle, a friend of the family. And that many black girls, you can't have those type of numbers without complicity from mom, from dad. How are we complicit if we silent?
That's right.
That nigga can still come to the family reunion.
That's right.
You know he touched your niece.
That's right.
And you still let that nigga come to the family reunion. See, so we are complicit. We as a community, those numbers are so high, not because of the individual man who touched her. Those numbers are high because all of us are guilty of silence and complicity. So, girl walk by. Lord, I swear to you, when I'm walking with my girls, I pass a dude, I be looking. I be eyeballing that dude. Lower your gaze. And I be turning around to see if he turning around. And I have a call. Okay? I came face to face with a would-be pedophile. Oh yeah, I did. I knew. I turned and I caught him. And I knew in his face what he was thinking. So, slow your gaze.
Yes, sir.
link to it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Hold it down.
Very good question. Because see,
Couldn't hear the question, sir.
can I explain? Oh, I'm sorry, I should have given you the mic. So, whatever. I will surrender the mic, because I'm not a mic holder. Question is, can I explain how marijuana gender bends? How marijuana makes a man or a woman go the other direction, in the words of the brother. But basically, how does marijuana gender bend? How does marijuana feminize men and masculinize women? And secondly, does smoking, cigarettes, nicotine, have anything to do with that? And to the latter question, absolutely yes. Now, we black men in particular, we don't just get lifted, but we chase our weed with a cigarette.
That's
But
right.
we don't just chase our weed with a cigarette, we chase our weed with a specific type of cigarette.
Yes,
A
sir.
menthol cigarette.
Come on now.
A menthol cigarette, them cools and them Newports. When you
That's right.
finish that blunt, you lift in that cools of them Newports. My God, is that dysgenics in motion? Menthol cigarettes in particular, they used to be an affluent white woman choice of cigarette. In the 40s and 50s, only stay-at-home rich white women smoked them Slims. That was a feminine cigarette, white women. Until they discovered something and they repackaged and remarketed menthol cigarettes in the late 60s. They specifically targeted black men, and their campaign was so intense. They had what they call ethnic what do they take you in school when they take the children out on field trip? Field trips. They had what they call ethnic field trips. Where they took vans to black neighborhoods, specifically playgrounds, and they stayed for hours handing out to children free menthol cigarettes.
That's right. Okay,
Why? Why did they repackage menthol as a black male cigarette after it has spent so much time as an affluent white woman cigarette? Because they learned something. That nicotine is, it has a melanin affinity. Melanin is a pigment that makes black skin black.
Yes, sir.
Nicotine seeks out and binds to melanated tissue. The more melanin in the organism, the more the nicotine will bind for life in that organism. And its binding to melanin releases throughout life toxins in the cytoplasm of the cell. So the 30% of black people who smoke, I'm sorry, fam, you're walking nicotine reservoirs. That nicotine. And then when they switched it, when they started marketing it to us, they increased the nicotine content. Then they put menthol on it. They put menthol on it. 90% of menthol smokers are black. They put menthol on it. That menthol increases, does two things. It increases the absorption of nicotine in the body, so it's not enough that they increased it when marketing to us. They put menthol on it so it increases that peppermint flavor, that sweetness. it increases the absorption of the nicotine in the body, and then it depletes testosterone. And you hit that after you finish with your blunt. What does the blunt do? Natural cannabis is God's gift, among others, to the planet. John, nothing. It ain't the holy herb that you smoke. God's cannabis is holy herb. You're loud, ain't it? Right. Because God's cannabis only has less than 1% THC content. See, that THC is the reason you smoke.
Right.
THC is what gets you high.
Tell him.
God's weed don't get you high. Y'all, only less than 1%, but what you smoke has been enhanced to 10, 12, 15, 30% THC. And that THC is destructive in so many ways. So let me show you the process of how that marijuana you smoke feminizes men and masculinizes women. Because that THC, it is anti-androgenic. Androgen is the male hormone, specifically testosterone. It depletes testosterone high. It cuts it off at the source. Testosterone is physically produced in the testes, but that process of testosterone production begins in the brain. The hypothalamus of the brain releases these protohormones, gonadotropin hormones, that produce other hormones, and that chain reaction is what eventuates in the production of testosterone in the testes. You cut off the production in the hypothalamus. You attack the hypothalamus. You cut off those protohormones so the testosterone can never be produced. That's what THC does. It stops the process at the hypothalamus. And then if it's not enough that THC is cutting off the production of testosterone, you put fire to that weed, which isn't what the Bible said. Of course, like to quote the Bible, God planted every herb for good. Yeah, well, show me where he said smoke it. Show me where he said smoke that joint. You put fire to it, you change the chemical composition.
That's right.
And what it does in this case, that fire produces a smoke with certain chemicals called phenols. And those phenols, while the THC is cutting off your testosterone, that smoke that you're inhaling has phenols that are estrogen. So you estrogenize in your body. That's why weed smokers, long-term weed smokers, especially if they started early, they'll be honest, to pull off their shirt, you will see man breast hairs too. Gynecomastia is epidemic among long-term chronic weed smokers, especially when they started before 16. So the estrogen feminizes the male body, but women not like men. Nicotine and marijuana increases testosterone in women. It increases testosterone in women. Long-term chronic use, it becomes obvious in the physiology. See, look, man. Talking about black dystopia. We're talking about dysgenics. This white man is real. I told you ain't no such thing as recreational drug use among us. But I'm sorry. Some of y'all looking at me with these sad, droopy faces. but the messenger of God before this set in. The messenger of God told us don't do it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Told you and me don't do it. But we said to hell with the messenger of God and his God, and we did it anyway. You think there are no consequences to our rebellion against God and his messenger? The consequences are the black dystopia that is so much of black life in America. The consequence is the project of dysgenics that did not go into place until after God came and the messenger of God warned us. He warned us. That's how God works. He raises up one from among the people. Warns them, gives them an opportunity to avert disaster. Those who heed avert disaster. Those who rebel, the consequences, the fullness of that disaster falls on our head. And that's Black America in 2018. I'm going to close on this point. The greatest illustration of how nationally all of Black America is an illustration. Because, black man, see, testosterone, the black man's testosterone is the obsession of the white man. That is his penis on a secondary level. But the white man obsesses over your testosterone way more than he obsesses over your penis.
Right.
Now, he does obsess over the sperm that comes from your penis because that can annihilate. Exactly. But he obsesses over your brain because in your brain is where you're, among other things, not only is it the brain of God itself, that's where your testosterone is produced. And understand something. Testosterone is the power hormone. It compares. It's a biochemical source of a man's drive for power. And it's the signature of people who overthrow oppressors.
Right.
And the white man knows he's an oppressor. You're an oppressor. Now, question. Quiz. With all of these police murders, caught on video, and all the major media spin it over and over and over again. You see it. That was Dylan Roof run up in the church to slaughter a white boy in Austin, Texas, bombing prominent black families. And not only did he do it, but we see the media presenting him as a sympathetic white boy. And all of this, multiply that 1,000,000 times, and what is the reaction of black men? Because we are scientifically made docile. Because we are testosterone depleted. We are a testosterone depleted people. That is why we are so content with the abuses of our enemy. The worst you would do is get in a damn prayer circle and pray for forgiveness for your enemy.
Hey, we all get it on.
A testosterone depleted people.
Yes, sir.
It is because of this project. This project. The scientific assault. We were made, Ferdinand, we were made a docile people. No other human group will suffer the indignity that we suffer and still want to be with this enemy. We are a testosterone depleted people, but we are a testosterone testosterone replenish people. We're in the process of testosterone replenishing. While you rise up, you say, how many white folks have you killed? Of course.
Come on with it, black man.
Thank you, nobody.
Right.
Except those who run up in our mosques with guns. We kill cops.
Come on.
We want the aggressors. We don't carry guns. They run up in our spot with guns and we kill them.
That's right. Come on.
Now, we have been telling them the war is inevitable. And we are good with that and we are preparing for that.
Yes, sir.
In the meantime, we're telling you that the white man is the devil, Satan, your open enemy, and let's separate
Yes,
from him.
yes,
Leave that crap.
Yes, sir.
Leave him and all of his culture of death.
Yes, sir.
Leave it. Come.
Yes.
Build on, join on to your own.
Yes, yes. Come
Join
on.
the army, get trained, so when our numbers is right, then we can see what it do. Our mind is war with the enemy, and we have had fights. Go ask the mountains. They run up on the black Muslim. Oh, it's a matter of public record.
That's right.
Muhammad replenishes testosterone. Muhammad restores femininity. And Muhammad has prescribed for us that makes men and women again. I'm going to answer your question. I didn't know what answer. Any other questions?
I just have a comment.
Yes, ma'am.
I just want to thank you so much. I feel so enlightened. I feel like I shouldn't owe this much student loans because I should have just came here.
All of you will be here tomorrow.
Yes.
See, I could ask you a series of questions, but I want to see you tomorrow.
Come on.
That's right. That's right.
The other side tomorrow.
Come on, black man.
How many of you, I'll ask 2 questions, and I'll say the third one for tomorrow. How many of you are here at this mosque for your first, second, or third time? How many? May I see your hand? How many of you believe what you heard tonight to be true and good for black people? I understand. Praise belongs to Allah. So if you believe that, I want to see you tomorrow. Yes, sir. I got to see you tomorrow. If you believe that, if you spoke truth by confessing that you believe that what you heard today is true and good for black people, then I need to see you tomorrow. Because the logical conclusion to what we presented tonight, we're going to offer tomorrow. So, will we see you tomorrow, dear family? Will you bless us with your presence tomorrow?
Come on, black man.
Come on, now.
Thank you for your time. Now, we have books and DVDs of our lecture tour and the book sources of our material in the back. Assalamu alaikum.
Give them a